Not saying everything is perfect because things are always going to come, but you get better. Like things don't get easier. I'll be like, when people are like, it's get better. It's no, you get better. You stand a little stronger in the storm. Hey guys, welcome back to Is It Tuesday podcast. I'm Cris Cavallari. I just got off of live and I'm doing this thing because my schedule, to be honest, like everyone else, my schedule is just in shits, right? I'm doing a million things. And although we have 24 hours in a day, just like Beyonce, all of us doesn't have a team like Beyonce. But I'm being very much so intentional today. And it's difficult. It's difficult for us to stick to a schedule. We can be intentional, but sometimes it's just like, fuck, I gotta do this and this and this and this and this. And I jumped on live today, and today is doesn't matter what day it is, because when you see this, you won't know. But it's a weekend, and it's spring break, and before spring break started, I said, okay, I'm gonna have off Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. I'm going to have 6 days away from mommy duty. I need to go crazy. And not crazy in work, because I know a lot of us get so fixated on like, oh my gosh, I got to, work. I'm just thinking I'm going crazy with, I got to go to school. I have to clean up. I'm trying to divide this time. And although we have this list of things that we want to get done, I'm giving myself grace to say, okay, you got this done, like relax too. Because our ancestors wanted to rest. They're tired. We have the opportunity to slow down. We have the opportunity to, and I don't know if you know, but you can get off that hamster wheel whenever you want. Today I was intentional about coming to the studio because yesterday I was home and I ran some errands and I started decluttering my closet. And I feel like I've been purging and decluttering everything for the longest time. And what I'm curating right now is a marketplace, a pop-up here at the HQ. Not only for other like businesses, but just like shit that you don't want. Like there's so many things, and I'm gonna be honest. I just told them on live, I'm not really feeling the Salvation Army no more, because I'll go in there and they'll have racks and racks and racks of Zara with the tags on it, and these items are fucked up. Like I'm gonna be honest, they're like, remember Rugged Warehouse is like a resale, like I don't know if everybody has Rugged Warehouse, Foreman Mills, whatever, where they put the little black line through the stuff. It's marked down because it's like, fucked up. I went to the Salvation Army and I seen that they had some Zara racks. And I'm like, okay. And I'm looking and the shit's fucked up. It's holes in it, it's tears, missing this, missing that, missing this, missing that. But they have this big ass sign and it says 50% off. And I'm like, 50% off of $129 at the Salvation Army? Where this was donated at? For free? And y'all are trying to charge. I'm not donating. I'm sorry. I'm not interested in donating something to Salvation Army where you're going to charge somebody the store. Like that was crazy. It's crazy. But anyway, so I'm getting all of my things together to have. I thought about maybe I could get a whole bunch of, there's a closet clean out. Girls, one thing about women, we overshop. And I'm a brand owner. I own a brand. This is why I think it's important. The things that I carry on my site, if it can't be worn 5 times, I don't sell it. And I would challenge somebody, tell me to style something. I promise you. And this is the thing. Like I don't want to overly shop. I want to shop right. Shop right. I haven't been a shop right in a long time. I want to shop the correct way, things that make sense with the growth or fluctuation of your weight or whatever. You can wear it to church, you can wear it to work, you can wear it on a date. It depends. Like things could be done multiple ways. But I looked at my wardrobe and I just, calculated everything. I'm like, sometimes you just buy stuff because it's on sale and it doesn't make sense. And I just was like, damn, I should have a swap party. And the reason I thought about that is because a young lady that I follow and that, shops my brand, Kay. She's like, oh, she was cleaning out her stuff. She's like, oh, I'm not selling anything. I donate. And I thought about Salvation Army. I'm like, I'm not donating nothing anymore, because you're donating from the kindness of your heart, but they're going to upsell your shit. Like, they going crazy. Have you ever tried to donate something or take something to Plato's Closet to get like money? They be looking at your shit like, I don't like this. If it's not Abercrombie, fucking Hollister, whatever the kids at Plato's Closet wear. But I just thought, like, okay, you know what? I'm going to do an inventory of all the things that I have, and I'll be 40 in a couple of months. And I'm going to be honest, I just want quality over quantity, and that's in everything. But I was just getting rid of some things, and there's amazing things. And I was like, I'm not just going to take this to Salvation Army and they're going to upcharge somebody. I would rather, I have in the studio a bunch of pop-up props. We have beautiful racks, hangers, tables, everything here that you need. But I just was thinking to myself, like, oh, I should just do like either like a swap party, like where, maybe 6, 7 girls come, 8 girls, whatever, however many come in. You bring some things, y'all swap it out, y'all figure it out. If you want to just, because what's old to you is new to me. But I'm going to do that. And I just was getting rid of stuff. And I was just talking about that on there. And I was like, yo, what's some topics that we should talk about? And I just really love to connect, because I've been so busy that even sometimes knowing all the things you have to do, it's like, oh my gosh, let me sit down for a second. So yesterday I sat down, and today I was like, nope. I was talking to my friend, and I was like, I'm going to go to the studio. At first I was going to go to brunch. I was dying for a nice like Caesar salad and a espresso martini, or maybe like a French 75, like something. I just needed something, And I was like, go to work. And although this is not, to be honest, this is not work, because this is something that I'm doing for fun for me. It has not, to be honest, I'm paying more anyway. This is setting it up for what's to come. But this is still work. This is a part of my mission. I think that when I first got on Instagram, using that platform, and I'm doing these videos at my desk job, and, I'm working here. I'm working, let me see how many jobs I had since Instagram. Oh my God. I've been a daycare teacher. I've worked at Mac. I worked at car service place. I've worked a lot of places. I've literally worked everywhere. And when I started this Instagram, the people that would come, I'm not sure why you came. If you came because of the way I dressed, the funny videos or whatever, me just being myself, I started realizing something that was something that I overlooked for a long time. Something that I overlooked, and I didn't put the pieces together to know that that's where the journey would lead me. I've always been the big sis in my head, the best friend I never had. These things where I'm not always giving the advice in a way of like, oh, yeah, girl, it's kind of like, hell no. Like, we're not doing that shit, And even if it was at that time unsolicited, I had to learn how to use it when it's necessary. And I would just over the years monitor a lot of things like, oh shit, somebody said that to me a couple years ago. Somebody said this and somebody said that. And that led me to coaching. So as I'm in the studio and I'm talking about having a pop-up and a this and a that and a this, and we're purging things, and, we have businesses and families, and life has changed so drastically, but it was always the same. You know what I mean? Like, you can't really see all the work that you've put in because your head is down when you're in survival mode. You're just going with it. And now when I get on the direction of the conversation, is always going where it's been. Coaching, or just giving that what I wish somebody would have told me. And today I got on live just, just to check in, to tap in, because, I've been so focused on the thing that's making me the money that the purpose thing is kind of always like, oh, I'll get to that. That's what a lot of us do. Because we have to live. Like, we need a life, that's our livelihood. We think about those things, and then it's like, but God said do this too. The people came because of all of these other reasons, but now that they're here, you got to show them something. You got to show them that they seen you at every stage of your life. And I want you to show them that you're living proof of what I can do. I just told him earlier, I'm like, I cry now. I cry. And even me saying that, I'm naming all of these jobs and all of these lives that I've lived. I'm a cat. I think about the young lady that's following me, and she's like, oh, I can't wait to grow up. And I'm like, it's going to be so nice when you do. It's going to be so worth it. That stupid little job that you just want to call off. I seen this thing. This lady was like, I can never work for somebody else because it's my birthday. I want to call off. I look cute. I want to call off. All of these things helped shape and mold you to the person that you're going to become. She's already in you. That's the beautiful thing. She's waiting for you. She's like right there. And I get emotional a lot now because I think I see all those versions of me. I see the girl that was sleeping on her friend's couch when she lost her job at the daycare, and her kids flushed my fucking contacts down the toilet, and all of these things, right? The girl that her neon broke down, and she was driving up and back and forth on the expressway late, going to work right after the club and going to sleep, getting home, and just popping up, going to work like nothing happened, and just tired as shit, but just living off Red Bull or whatever, just living that life. And the person that worked all these multiple different jobs and just could never, to the outside world, just could never get it right. There's somebody right now, and God, I say this with such a humble tongue. There's so many people that have counted you out. They're going to get a seat at that table and see how God is going to bless you. And it's not a aha moment. It's not that. It's not a braggadocious moment. It's not a moment to be like, it's not that moment. I heard DJ Khaled the other day. He was like, that's why I talk because I tell, like, why I say what I say, because they was sleeping on me, That's why he said, but then he also says, that's why when I see somebody, I don't never try to play them off like whatever, because the tables turn, and it's always going to be somebody. It could go quicker than it could just. We don't know. That person that you sleeping on, that little business, that little, whatever it is, you just never know who people are going to become. You never know what God put on them, what their purpose is, And I'm on live, and we just talking. And I just really was like, I don't, let me just get on, because I find myself, like, once I'm in these conversations, that's when my mind just goes. I'm not a person that, like, if I was doing a podcast and someone's asking me questions, I don't want them to ask me the questions prior to me getting there. Like, I want it to be like off the rip. I don't want to come up with these politically correct answers of, oh yes, because then this happened. It's like, I don't speak like that. At some point during Instagram, I thought I had to. I thought I had to wipe out all the old versions of myself, because people they wouldn't accept it, or or someone told me, you don't gotta tell people that you sleeping on the couch. Why? If I don't tell her that I was her, she wouldn't know that she's me. Like, she wouldn't see herself right now. Why do I have to skip the ugly parts? A lot of people want to skip those, or they only want to tell you about them when it's beneficial, and they bury her and they forget about her. And it's like, no, 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 we got through these things. Like, and now I'm here to take care of you and show you the way and show you this. And it's just such a beautiful feeling to know that it all makes sense. Not when it's going on. Don't get too excited. It will only make sense when you're on the other side. It'll only make sense. And I had to tell my daughter that. I'm like, hey, we're having these mommy moments, and I'm trying to give her what a lot of us did not have, which is the opportunity to know your mother as herself and not just as mom, because I could feel that she probably only had that version. So it's like, hey, let's have honest conversations about sacrifices that, mothers make, and this is why this, and so it can make sense then, right? And I had to tell her for her birthday, I'm like, oh my gosh, like I was able to grow. Unfortunately, we grew together. I don't, but how blessed am I that she can now see me in this version of me. You got to experience me in all these fuck ups. You got to see me, and then you get to see how God worked my life out. That's how I feel about the women that follow me. I never really wanted to be a motivational speaker, a life coach of this. I was always the bossy friend that like, no, you need to do this. But then I said, wait a minute. There's a way to do these things. I've always done these things, but it's my delivery. Everyone doesn't need tough love. Some people need a little bit more compassion. Some people need a little bit more, time. Like, we don't have to drag people out of their mess. You just have to guide them and just walk with them. Sometimes you just need to walk. I just want walk with me. You remember that time, like you used to be like, walk with me, and you just walk around the neighborhood and talk about life or laughing or crying or whatever the hell y'all doing. Y'all might have been doing some other things in the neighborhood, walking around. Was I doing that? Maybe. But I think about, if I didn't tell you some of the story, because I've realized that with me, I feel like you're never going to get like the whole story. I jump, because I think a lot of us hold on to the not so important parts. I remember these parts, like this, and this. I also don't realize sometimes if that's from when you deal with a certain type of person or people, you have some memory loss. Like, for real, it'd be gaps in your fucking memory sometimes. You be like, and then you realize like, oh, that is a side effect of dealing with this type of person or whatever, blah, blah, blah. Like I said, I wasn't giving those type of people that much energy until we really have to talk about it a little bit deeper. But you lose your memory sometimes in certain situations, even just like with some trauma, because it is trauma. You remember bits and pieces. You remember bits and pieces, but you remember the parts you needed to remember. And I just always think like, hey, when you're a teacher, you had to be a student. Life had to teach you. Life had to teach you these lessons. And that's the only way you pass the test, is like by really like going through it. You can't copy someone else's paper. That's why even with coaching, with us having these conversations, conversing or whatever, there's going to be times where you're like, oh my gosh, oh, somebody understands, or, I'm not alone. And it really, the things that I did not want to talk about is the things that I'm led to talk about. The not so pretty parts, the not so iconic, glamorous parts, the not so, there's so many things that I've struggled with. But now I realize the only reason I had to go through that. I had to go through that to see how to handle it. I had to, figure out how to go through it and not let it make me hard. I had to have those friendships that were, the way that they were so I could, do what I needed to do. I needed to go through those relationships that did what they did so I could know how to handle it, know how to tell you how to get through it. And it wasn't in vain. It wasn't like it didn't mean anything. It meant something. It literally, now I realize it. I'm very excited that I've accepted slowing down. Yesterday, I just sat home, I watched a movie, and I was all day. I was like, damn, I'm supposed to be doing something. I couldn't figure it out. I was like, what the I opened my laptop to do something. I stopped. I sat, scrolled on my phone for a while, went upstairs, did this, did that, did this. And then I went upstairs and I turned on Netflix and it was like it's like Moses, the Testament, the book of Testament, something with Moses, child. And I watched so. First of all, have not watched TV in so long. If you're a fucking mom on here, you know what I'm talking about. There's only one TV in my house. There's another TV in there, but I've never hung it up, and I don't want any TVs in a bedroom. So the TV is in the loft upstairs. I don't want any TVs in our room. That's my thing. That's where we sleep. I want our minds and bodies to really relax. So we got to go all the way in the loft and watch TV. But I went up there. I turned on Netflix. I'm like, what the fuck do I watch? I watched a little bit of Love Is Blind a couple weeks ago, and it wasn't nothing that really caught my attention. But I also realized I just don't be watching TV no more. I don't even know where to start. I used to like Law and Order, but now I've realized Law and Order had me paranoid. Uh, Sometimes I like Lifetime, but I have not had the time to sit down because I've always been like, oh my God, something has to be, I got to do something. And then you got a kid, and the kid is watching something. So he's like, all right, whatever, you watch it. But it's crazy. Or you might have a kid and you watching and they're going to call you 65 times. Whatever the situation may be, you are not going to, the movie's not going to have your undivided attention unless you're alone. And even then you're going to pick up your phone and something's going to happen, whatever. But I'm watching Moses, and instantly, first of all, I think each one was an hour and a half or something. But I'm watching and I'm just listening to the story. And it's so crazy that when you actually take the time to listen or read a story, like some of the Bible or whatever, sometimes the Bible is kind of hard to understand. So you gotta, it needs to be, some people learn differently. You gotta, I'm some people are visual learners, and some people have to, I can't really concentrate. I don't know if I retain the information as much as I would if it was a hands-on thing. But I was watching it and I felt really, I felt like God sat me down and was like, watch this. And a lot of things made sense. It resonated with me. And the best part about it, I mean, it wasn't the best. It was kind of extra, but I was looking at how Pharaoh had all these chances. I know I jumped. How the fuck did we get here? But we're here now. Sorry, God. I was looking at how Pharaoh got warning after warning after warning to stop doing something. He still continued to do it. And then he died. You didn't listen. You had so many opportunities to stop. You had so many opportunities to give up, never mind, do the right thing, and you didn't. But in the beginning, when, what's the dad name, child? He killed all the kids, the Hebrew, the last born, the son. And then in the story, then God took the firstborn of, all that good stuff. Well, it's not good, but it is what it is. Anyway, I sat there and I watched hours of it. And I was just, what I was taking from it, and that's why, excuse me if I don't know the exact names right now. I was watching it, but I was so I was watching it as if it was my life. I was watching it as hey, Moses, God is telling you to do this and you don't think you're qualified. You know, he's telling you to lead the people. He's giving you these things and you just listening. Like you don't know what's to come, but you just like, all right, I got, I'm listening because it's God. Like why I have to listen. And he was, in his desert walking alone, and it just felt like that part of my life that I've been in hermit mode, and I'm like, wait, what is going on? I don't know, because you think that your life is one way and this is this, and then it turns out to be something totally different. Watch how I be bringing stuff around full circle. That's why I'm really good, for real, honestly. Because I always get off. It always sounds like for someone that can't keep up, it's gonna sound like a bunch of nothing, and then you'll be like, oh, sometimes like that, like, oh, follow me, walk with me, like when you walk around the neighborhood. But when I was watching last night, and I was just like, oh my gosh, this is how I feel. This is how I feel. I feel like things were good over there, but I didn't fit. That wasn't what I was supposed to be doing. Like, let me go, let me just whatever. And the more and more I watched it, like I want to go home right now and watch the rest. But the more and more I watched it, I was like, oh, God will use, like I said before, plenty of times, God will use the most unqualified person to you. Because you wouldn't be a believer if the person that he used never had any shortcomings, you got to be able to see the change. Like it got to be like, wait, what? Like it's like that. People will constantly question you on what you heard or what you should be doing and this, that, and the third. And it's like, before I wanted to overly like, no, let me tell you. And now I'm just kind of like, I don't really need a conference call for this. God didn't tell all of us. He told me what I need to be doing, because you have your own thing that he told you what you should be doing. So the more I focused on what I should be doing, it's like, yesterday he said rest, and he had me watch that movie, and I'm like, child, I wanted to do so. It was raining too. It was raining. I think I went to bed at like 3:00 in the morning. I was watching, and I'm watching at least like 4 of them. I ain't sit down that long in so long, without getting on my phone, doing this, doing that, talking but I changed my number some weeks ago and I have not given it out yet. It was such a moment where it's just like, I'm changing my number. I've had this number not super long, but I had it long enough. And right now, that time before when I heard God and this, that, and the third, I just want to dead all distractions. Some people probably are taking offense to not being able to contact me, but I'm on a mission. And the craziest part about this mission is there's no like, I'm just moving the way I'm being told now, and I have no control over that. Like I'm super uncomfortable. Even I asked, like, oh, what we gonna talk about? We talked about like, oh, let's talk about building confidence back up after this, and let's talk about, this and this and this. And I wrote them all down, and we're gonna talk about them. But I don't even know how this is going, where it's going. But I'm just flowing with it. I'm really understanding now that alone time is where you really get to hear. That's not what I'm understanding. I've been through that in the last 3 years, but you don't get to say when you're done being alone. You don't get to be like, all right, God, like all right, where everybody at? All right, act, cut. I said, sit down. You're just going to be sitting. You're going to be sitting, and what's going to be put in you to be, delivered to, you think it's a lot of women on live today was just talking about the things that they've been through. And I'm sitting there and I'm still like, oh, okay, I get it. You gotta show them. You gotta show them all the different areas and what happened and how it, how it's always going to come full circle, and nobody has to qualify you but God. And that's the craziest part. It's the person that be like, remember she used to do this, and remember she did this, and I'll be like, yeah, because Moses did this, and he still was leading the people. He didn't think he was qualified. He didn't even have to think he didn't even have to know it. That's how I feel right now. I'm like, oh, I only speak now when I need to. And I had to get the last word as a kid. And now here I am on this journey of coaching and still a student, but becoming a teacher of really like studying yourself, going through these human experiences and not saying everything is perfect, because things are always going to come, but you get better. Like, things don't get easier. I'll be like, when people are like, it's get better, it's no, you get better. You stand a little stronger in the storm. It's going to pass. But the last time and the last time before that, your faith gets stronger. I think, like, I'm literally always going to sit here and just look around at all the things that I was able to do with little. Why did I hear Jennifer Lopez? I used to have a little, now I have a lot. I know where I come from. Don't be fooled by the rocks that I got. I'm still Jenny from the block. But Jenny don't even matter. Somebody from her past. Matter of fact, let's talk about that. Somebody from her past was like on TikTok, like, and that's not who you are. We didn't even like you. And that lady's miserable. I don't give a damn who she's referring to. If they didn't like her, it has to be very hard for them to see her in this new light. Now, I don't know what the lady did. I know she was all fly girl. She was in Living Color. She was a fly girl. Like, anybody can say anything they want. You don't remember Jennifer Lopez as a fly girl on In Living Color? I don't care if she could sing a great note. That's not what Jennifer Lopez is known for. Jennifer Lopez is known for that ass and dancing. I don't care if she can't sing. She was Selena. But it's always going to be that one person. That lady is on TikTok. Don't nobody give a fuck about that. Man, Jennifer Lopez is 50-something years old. How old is she? 50? 51? 50? She 50-something. You want to be like, no, that's not. Girl, you knew her then. If that was her perception of what it was when she was growing up, and maybe she did wherever she lived. I don't know where the hell Jenny from the block. I don't know. But I'll tell you one thing. It's going to be hard for people to see you in a new light, in a spotlight. Okay? It's going to be difficult. And the more I think about these things, I'm like, even if she just like, oh, I used to wear my hair like this. I think I've seen somebody say, like, I used to wear And the lady's like, that's not true. You used to do this. And it's like, bitch, you really fixated on what I'm doing. What you doing? Everybody's going to have something to say when you grow. When you grow and you get a little glow. If you are so... That's the thing about even just living in your truth. Someone else's idea of your truth is different. Like, that's their truth. Like, no one's truth is like, that's her truth. This is her truth. But what is it? What is it to you? What is it to you? Now, it's not no J-Lo, like, she's like this. What I'm saying is, you've seen Jennifer Lopez on In Living Color as a backup dancer. Now you see Jennifer Lopez, the superstar. Okay? You see Jenny from the block, through all these ups and downs with love and all this, that, and the third, like, but you got, like, let's be real here. You could give a little credit for the lady. Like, all right, you did go from this to this. Everybody is too busy counting your fuck ups. And that's okay. Somebody like, we're waiting for Jennifer Lopez to respond. Why the fuck would Jennifer Lopez respond to that lady? Why? I'm learning that as well. Like, you get on live and people are going to always try to poke a hole in it, try to dance around it, try to just make it, whatever. And that's why I say, like, there's nothing. I want you to be so comfortable in yourself, in your truth. Because I know somebody, oh yeah, she used to sleep on my couch. I damn sure did. Thank God. The best part is nobody gets credit but God. It's already destined. The mission was already there. All of those things led up to this. Thank God. Like I said, the fact that now I am embarking on coaching, I'm not even going to be a coach. It's like, so then what? It's like, listen, starts with you. Accountability. Sit down, do some mirror work. Like it really, we have to peel back all of those things of shame. And that's where the J-Lo thing is coming, because this lady, you trying to shame her, but she doesn't have to say anything to you, because what is there to be ashamed of? Now, is she exaggerating? Rappers exaggerate all the time. They be lying on their mother every day. Yeah, I had to go do this. And the mom was a hard worker. And y'all lived up in upper, Westchester somewhere. People, as entertainers, they're entertaining. But I always it's just like, if you are aware and comfortable and living in your truth, your past, your present, can't nobody pull something out of a hat and be like, let me tell you what she used to do, and let me tell you how she used to be. And it's like, isn't God good? Remember you used to do this? I did. Oh my gosh. So thankful I could change my life around. So thankful I could show others how to change, because that's what you're going to do. You're going to think you're embarrassing somebody, and someone's going to be able to take that and say, let me show you how I did it. Let me show you how I took those things that were meant to break me, to hurt me, to destroy me, distract me, and it worked out for me. Because there's more people like that than it is like this, and those people want to get, you feel where I'm going? And they have to see the proof. There's a lot of people that could say, I took $300 and made it into $1 million in 6 days. And then there's someone that you can look at and you can say, something's different. Her walk is different. She sits different. The story is the same, but it's I can't figure, like, you changed. That's a beautiful, a lot of people like, what you mean I changed? I woke up. This was so fun. I don't even know, I don't even know what. I just know that you'll be amazed that when you slow down, your nervous system relaxes. You can look around and see what you've done when you were panicking, when you were in survival. And you could say, oh, wait, oh, wow. Something hurt my heart a couple weeks ago. I seen an old neighbor from a couple years ago. The apartment that I lived in when I was pregnant and I had Goliath, I seen my old neighbor. She lived on the first floor. And this was like a small little, my little $700 apartment. I miss it so much, Lord. I missed the rent, $700. I don't know. Yeah, that doesn't exist. I seen her one day and I'm like, oh, she don't look, she looked like she was out there. And I was like, well, maybe, she just tired or something. Then I seen her a couple weeks after that and she looked like death. She looked like her she couldn't put those demons on submission. She couldn't get them, because we all got them. But she couldn't shake it, whatever it was. And when she first moved in, I think she just got out of jail, because I know her social worker used to come, and she had her daughter, she ended up getting her baby, but then she was pregnant. And I just remember, like, she just used to always have people in and out her house. And we have to say excuse me to her company that was on the porch. It was like three floors. I was on the second floor. First, I was on the third floor. Then I moved to the second floor. The first floor, the first apartment was efficiency. The second one was a 1 bedroom, and I was able to move in there before I had my son, and it was more space. And I drive past there to take him to school, and I always say to him, "We used to live right there." Just like my boots that I have on, I had these boots from a different time in my life. And I always say, shout out to Miss Teresa. She gave me these boots when I worked at Professional Associates. I always say they keep me grounded. To be able to tell somebody, not even tell them, excuse me, to be able to show, to lead by example was something that that was never, some people have like, oh, I want to be this when I grow up. That was never the thing. Like, oh, I'm going to be this. I was just like, girl, I'm just going to go to this job. But to see how life works out. When I seen that young lady and she was fighting an addiction out, she's not fighting it. She's submerged in this addiction. I didn't call anybody to be like, oh my God, guess what? I just was like, thank you, God. Thank you. Because all of us have been in a situation that could have took us out or could have led us down a different path. But here we are in the same building. And these things, it just depends on the work, the mind, because that's where the real work is, your mind. And every time, I'm like, thank you, God. Like, thank you. Sometimes you don't know what prayer to pray. Sometimes you like me, I'm not very, I can't be like, yeah, girl, open Genesis. Like, I can't. That doesn't mean that God doesn't talk to me. That doesn't mean that I don't have a personal relationship. Life has taught me, and I think that God knew, well, I don't think, I know God knew that that's the way I learn, is through experiences. And I feel things so like really on me, but anytime, thank you, God. That's all you gotta, sometimes that's all you need to say is thank you. This could have ended up a lot differently, but thank you. Depression could have got the best of me, but thank you. That relationship could have got the best of me, but thank you. I could have gave up a long time ago, but thank you. I'm just here to lead the women. I'm here to help them find their own light, because at some point somewhere it got dimmed a little bit. Then it got dimmed some more. Then it just went out. I'm going to very much so stay in this quiet space as long as I have to. As long as I have to. It's such a beautiful space, though. Most of us feel like if your phone not ringing, something's wrong. Why ain't nobody? I don't feel like that. I feel like that. I feel like, ooh. Quiet used to scare me. Quiet is a luxury. I'm going to come back and do some more stuff. So, I'm proud of me. I'm proud of me for listening to not only my body, but to spirit. To be okay with not knowing what's to come, but just being faithful in the direction that I'm being led in. There's going to be a lot of people that are going to say, but I used to know her. When you get to where you want to, where you working your way to be. Oh yeah, we went to school together. Oh, she didn't wear her hair like this. She did this. That's the only way for them to stay connected to you, is to tell somebody they used to know you. You change every second. Every second. So who knew you 6 months ago or 6 minutes ago? You could have changed. Don't let anybody make you think that you don't have that power. It's a choice every day to say, nah, no, thank you. So the next time I get on here, I might be, I probably will be. Because every day is a new day. Every day is something new. Every day, if you just being obedient, you being quiet, you're gonna hear I'm about to say the word, you're gonna hear some things, you're gonna be like, oh, that makes sense. How could you teach somebody something you have not lived through? How can you teach somebody how to get back from something you have not lived through? And if you understand why you had to go through what you went through so you could do what you're supposed to do, life gets a lot easier. Thanks so much for joining in on Is It Tuesday podcast. I'm Cris Cavallari.